Today we are going to talk about some flight information that we've gotten. A lot went on yesterday with flights, as well as some of my recent thoughts about Princess Easyhair. Also, we're going to talk about should you be buying a phone plan just for cruise ships and airplanes. Lots of information to do with that, as well as some other updates that I think you'll find really helpful. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and today is Thursday. It's January 11th of 2023, and I want to start off by telling you today, and I don't usually do this, I'm going to put up two videos. This one has a lot of news and information that I think we can't do without, and I'm already getting a long list for tomorrow, so I think that it's really important to go ahead here and get this out to you. But I am also going to do a second video because I have made a couple of other group cruises that I want to talk to you all about, as well as kind of my take on how I like to do group cruises, how I want them, my ideas on group cruising. And so look for that video today if you are at all interested in that, because I am really excited about the itineraries that Gordon and I have chosen. So let's go ahead and talk about flights. So yesterday, as you maybe know, the FAA had kind of a meltdown, and for about 2.5 hours they would let flights land that were in the air, but they would not let any take off. And there's a lot that went into that big mess and why it happened, but the bottom line is, to me, it is a really good example of why it's really important to fly in the day before. Fly in the day before, fly in the day before, fly in the day before. I cannot emphasize that enough. Yes, a lot of times people are really lucky and you're able to get in on the day that your cruise is. I get it. It saves vacation time if you're still working often. It saves a hotel stay at night. It's convenient to get up in the morning, fly, and then get to the cruise ship. I know. But at the same time, I personally know people that have missed their flights. Let's Go family members that have really sadly missed cruises here out of the United States as well as out of Europe because they didn't fly in the day before. So fly in the day before. Now, along with that information, I know that the Regal Princess sailed late yesterday to accommodate people who were trying to fly in, and because of this were late. And so let us know if any of you are on any other ships that ended up sailing late due to flights arriving late, if any of you were on any of those flights and made it to your cruise, missed your cruise, and are going to have to catch it. Just let us know your experience with it. I would really like to know. Another really interesting story that I read, I kind of keep an eye on flights lately. And there was a flight that goes like every day nonstop from Paris to Salt Lake City. And those of you who are new here, Salt Lake City is our airport. And so it's nonstop. It's lovely. Gordon and I have taken that flight before, and so anyway, it got up into the air yesterday, and they started having trouble with engine number 1, and so they were diverted and had to go to Madrid, which was a little ways out of their way when you think of flying from Paris to Salt Lake City. They ended up having to go to Madrid due to weather and who could take care of their problem, and so they were very much delayed getting back here to the United States. They went to Madrid, were able to get that problem taken care of, and then continue on to Salt Lake. So it happens going both directions, and for a lot of funny reasons. Like, that was engine trouble, and it was unanticipated, and they found out about it after the flight had taken off. And so I just wanted to remind everyone, go ahead and fly in a day early. Along with that, I'm getting a lot of questions about Princess Easyhair in emails, and so I wanted to tell you a little bit more. So those of you who are new around here or who recall, we had a lot of trouble with Princess Easyhair this summer on our cruise in the Mediterranean and trying to get home. A really big mess. If you go to book Princess Easyhair flights now, or you are looking at Princess Easyhair flights, they have a thing that comes up about it reminding you that your flights might be canceled and rearranged, that you might they don't always guarantee that you're going to get to fly on the airline that you book. And that's what had happened to us this summer. We were booked on one airline, they moved us to another, which was going to end up costing us around $900 between paying for the seats and checking our luggage, which we don't have to pay for on the flights that we booked, the airline that we booked with. So anyway, here's a few things to think of. If you are looking at Princess Easyhair flights, sometimes those flights are way cheaper. And I would I would give it a whirl again if they were cheaper. We just barely booked our flights for our cruise that is out of Southampton in October, and we went ahead and booked them directly with Delta because they were actually a little bit cheaper with Delta, and we get to keep control of them. Like, they're booked, they are paid for. I don't have to worry about when they are ticketed, and I really appreciate that. Delta, if you book a flight with them, at least the ones that I always book, if you book with them and something comes up that you cannot take that flight, they give you an e-credit for it. So you just have that credit. The next time you want to book a flight with them, you use that credit and off you go. So I think that is really nice. Airlines have come a long ways with what their cancellation policies are than what it was before COVID. So I just wanted to let you know about that. I still hear from some people. Some people are having trouble. They call and have a hard time, but then we have an awful lot of Princess Easy Air flights that just go really smoothly. And so would I book with Princess Easy Air again? Absolutely. This time I didn't, because our flights were actually cheaper without, and it just took a little bit more of my worry out. But if they are cheaper, I would book with them again, because I think that more often than not you have a good experience with Princess Easy Air. So if you've got other Princess Easy Air questions, let me know and I will address them for you. The next item that I wanted to talk to you about is Verizon now has a phone plan that you can add to your plan if you want to, so that you can have phone service on a cruise ship and on a plane. And I would really like to thank Jeffrey with Cruising for One. He's got a blog and a YouTube channel. He posted this on our Facebook group, and then we have an amazing Let's Go family member named John Tom is the name that he uses on our Facebook group, and he added some really valuable information. So I felt like it was worth bringing it up with you, because if you're like me, if you hear that there is an option to have a phone plan that includes cruise ships and airplanes, like, I'm all on it, because that would be really nice. But here's a few things that I think you should know about it, and then you can make the choice for you. Alrighty? I would say that at first glance, and when you first hear about it, it's like, oh, this is awesome, but be aware. So they add it for $20 a month. So you can have it for $20 a month, and phone calls and texting are not included, but you get 50 megabytes of data. So be aware that you could not place a FaceTime call or a video call with 50 megabytes of data. It's going to take a lot more than that to be able to do that. And so they include the 50 megabytes, but every additional 50 megabytes that you use is another $20. And so if you're using it for things like video calling or watching videos, anything like that, it's going to get expensive very, very quickly. If you want to do that, I think it should just be for emergencies. And also, along with that, when you think of like 50 megabytes, you think of sending an email. You could send basic emails, but if you're going to send attachments that are very big at all, it's going to take your 50 megabytes really quick. And so I just wanted to make sure that you understand that. They also have it that if you want to do it, you can pay $2.99 per minute if you're going to do a phone call, or 50 cents for each text that you send, and 5 cents for each incoming text. And then you'll pay $20 along with that, and then you can also pay for the data that goes with it, $20 per 50 megabytes. Now for me, that's not going to be worth it, because I have phone service already, and if I go out of the country, we have the international plan. And at the same time, when you get on the cruise ship, be aware that when you you have to have access to the phone service, right, for it to be able to work. And I'm honestly hopeful that as time progresses, that the phone companies will be able to get this cheaper for us. But at the same time, I've been trying to read about it, and I would really appreciate any of you who can add anything about this. It sounds like you are still going to have to be using some of the you're going to have to be close enough to land to be able to get that. And if you are not close to land, I don't think it's going to be any faster than the internet you're going to get on the ship. I would really like to hear from those of you who are very technically inclined and would know something about that. Another really useful thing when you think of trying to use Wi-Fi data on airplanes, for a while now, I know we usually fly Delta. They have it so that if you would like to pay a little bit, you can use Wi-Fi while you are on the airplane. But starting on February 1st, on Delta's domestic flights on a mainline plane, not on the regional jets, but on their big airplanes, Wi-Fi is going to start being free for everyone. And then they have said that on the regional jets and then also their international flights, they are looking that by the end of 2024, they will have the capacity to have Wi-Fi free for everyone on those flights as well. I think that is huge. That's a really, to me, a big game changer. If you're trying to do things on the airplane, it'll be really nice to have that included complimentary. Every once in a while, if I've got tons of work to do, I'll pay for it. But not always, just only when I feel like I really need to. But I love that they are going to start including that for free, and I really hope that a lot of the other airlines will start to do that as well, so then it's just much easier to stay in touch with everyone. And of course, remember, they always ask you not to do phone calls while you're on the airplane, and I think that's a really important rule, otherwise it would be noisy and everybody would be talking on the phone. But I hope that some of this is helpful for you. Make sure that when you see things offered like that you really look into the details and think about how much it's really going to cost you in order to be able to use a service like that, because I think it would get really expensive pretty quick. Now, those of you who have an American Express card, take a look at the offers that you have, because I subscribe to this email and I honestly believe I give credit where credit is due. It's called the Drop, and they were talking about, and I was looking at our long story. Anyway, American Express on some of the credit cards right now has a deal that you get bonus points, like, you know how you earn miles. You get those extra reward miles / points. If you spend $1,000 or more with Celebrity Cruise Lines, you're going to get 35,000 points, and on some other cards, if you spend $500 or more, you get 17,000 membership reward points. That's worth a lot of money. And so look at your American Express card so that you don't miss that perk. I know that Celebrity just announced their semi-annual sale, which is quite similar to the sale that they have been running over like the Black Friday and into, it's not quite as good as Black Friday, but into the one that we've been seeing through the end of the 2022 and the beginning of 2023. But they've got their semi-annual sale running, so it's really a good time if you get those perks, because those are worth a lot of money. That's an excellent return on your investment for how much you have to spend if you look at that $1,000 and how many points you're going to get for it. So just a heads up, look at what your offers are on your American Express card, and look at them all the time anyway. But I love that they've got that offer with Celebrity. Now, just a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, I've gotten some questions lately wondering when Princess is going to announce their Australia and New Zealand and a bunch of other cruises more for the end of 2024. And I've heard that it's the middle of February. So keep an eye out if you're looking for one of those. I am not sure. Holland America usually lags Princess a little bit when they announce those things, and I am not quite sure for when Royal Caribbean will do that, but we'll all keep our eye out together. But hopefully by the middle of February we'll start to have more itineraries to take a look at. And so those are the main things that I've got for you today. Like I said, keep an eye out just following this one, and I will tell you all about our group cruises and what we're hoping with that and the fun places that we're going to go. If you haven't subscribed yet, we would love to have you with us. I really look forward to reading your comments and hearing from you, and I have fallen off the bandwagon with the trivia. I'll get back on. So look for the answer to your trivia question about when Princess first sailed on the Panama Canal. Look for that tomorrow, and I'll get back on track with that. But if you appreciate these updates, would you please give this one a thumbs up, and like I was saying, please subscribe. We really do need you with us. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.